Have you ever heard the saying, everyone talks about how Meghan met Harry, but no one talks about what she brought with her when she did? These aren't just words from a newspaper or a random person online. These words came from someone who was right there. Someone who saw everything, from the dark corners of Toronto's most secret club to the quiet mornings when bad things had to be cleaned up before the sun came out. Those words came from Markus Anderson. The story you are about to hear was never supposed to be told to everyone. It was hidden in the shadows, among people who thought no one was looking. To most people, Markus was just Meghan Markle's fancy friend. He was the man who helped her fit into London's rich society. He was the nice face who showed up with her at charity events and royal parties. But long before castles and news stories, Markus was something much more powerful. He was the gatekeeper to the secret world that made Meghan who she really was. That world was Soho House. It wasn't just a hotel or a club. It was a safe place for important and powerful people. Behind its fancy ropes, people's good names were traded like money. Secrets were shared more easily than wine. And in that hidden world, Meghan wasn't just an actress trying to make it big or someone who would become a duchess. She was the organizer, the one who kept the parties going all night. She knew who to call, what to get, and how to keep the important people happy. She didn't just go to parties, she planned them. The laughter, the expensive drinks, the other things people used, it was all managed, all kept quiet. Nothing ever got out. That was Meghan's special talent. And Markus, he made sure no one ever asked too many questions. By the time Prince Harry showed up, Meghan was very used to fancy living. She was an expert at it. Toronto's most private groups already knew her as the woman who could walk into any room and take charge. She didn't just charm people, she made them feel at ease so they'd tell her anything. When Harry came to visit in 2016, it wasn't just love that brought them together. It was freedom, the kind of freedom only someone like Meghan could offer. Away from the watchful eyes of the royal family, she gave him something he hadn't felt in years: secrecy. But as Markus Anderson would later say, secrecy always has a cost, because behind the smiles in the fairy tale love story, a different kind of connection was growing, one built not on fate but on danger. Markus saw it all, the nights that never made the news, the problems that were quietly fixed, the favors that cost more than money. He knew that if the truth of those Soho House days ever came out, it wouldn't just change Meghan's story, it would change the royal family's story completely. And that's where our story begins, not with the wedding or the palace, but with the secrets Meghan Markle brought with her long before she became a duchess. The year was 2016. Meghan's dreams of being a big Hollywood star had changed into something even bigger. She wasn't just an actress anymore. She was the life of the party at Soho House Toronto, a special place where actors, politicians, and very rich people came to relax and be themselves. Phones were not allowed. Questions were never asked. And when the night started to end, Meghan was the one people went to because she could keep the fun going. She knew the right people, the right rooms, and the right stuff to keep the laughter flowing. Behind closed doors, people who were there say the real offerings were much more serious, secretly delivered, no questions asked. And Meghan, according to those who partied with her, wasn't just watching. She was the one who made things happen. She connected people, making sure everyone had what they wanted. It was the same way she had acted since her wedding in Jamaica, where she reportedly prepared over 100 special cigarettes for her guests. She knew how to control the feeling of the place, manage the night, and make people feel safe while they were breaking the rules a little. Then came the whisper that changed everything. Princess Eugenie, Harry's cousin. Her name was mentioned, not because she was there, but because someone said she was supposed to be. Just the thought of it made everyone in the room panic. If even a rumor linked a royal's name to a night like that, it could ruin more than Meghan's good name. It could make the whole royal family look bad. Something went wrong that night. A close call, a scary moment, almost getting caught. No one knows exactly what happened, but the rumor was about bad things and police nearly showing up. By morning, everything was gone. No pictures, no police reports, no whispers outside the small group of friends. It was as if the night had never happened. And that's when the name Markus Anderson started to be heard quietly behind the scenes, the man who could make problems disappear. The man who knew exactly how to protect important people and exactly what that cost. To most of the world, Meghan Markle was living a dream, a successful actress dating a prince, a fairy tale happening in real life. But inside Soho House, Markus saw something different. He saw a woman who could change who she was depending on who was watching. To her Hollywood friends, she was still the determined actress looking for her next job. To her Toronto friends, she was the exciting insider who knew all the right people. And to Harry, she was the comforting escape, the woman who made him feel free from the palace rules he hated growing up with. But Markus had seen this before, not just with Meghan, but with others who came through his doors. The skill of changing yourself, the ability to stop being one person and become another without looking back. What made Meghan special wasn't just her beauty or her charm. It was how precise she was. She knew what to show, what to hide, and when to leave. She could turn being vulnerable into a smart move. And Markus, standing in the background, understood what that meant. He'd seen people try to play this game and lose. People who thought they could control power but ended up crushed by it. But Meghan was different. She played to survive, not just for attention. Every move was planned, every word practiced, every friend chosen for a reason. Markus once said Meghan was a woman who always knew where the way out was, and that's exactly what made her unstoppable. She could walk into any room, charm everyone there, and disappear before anyone realized they had been looking at a fake version of her. Behind closed doors, Meghan was learning the same skill Markus had spent years perfecting, the power of keeping secrets. Together, they formed a quiet team, built not on friendship but on understanding. Markus gave her access to the special world, and Meghan put on the show. And in the world of Soho House, that mix was pure power. When Meghan met Prince Harry, she didn't just meet a prince. She met a man who had spent his whole life being watched. Cameras, rules, news headlines. Harry had grown up inside a beautiful but restrictive cage. What he wanted most wasn't power, it was freedom. And that's exactly what Meghan offered. Around her, Harry could breathe. She made him feel safe from the public eye. She convinced him that he could finally live like a regular man. But what Harry didn't realize was that Meghan knew how to create that feeling of freedom. She had done it before. For actors, for rich people, for friends at Soho House, she could build a world that felt free while quietly controlling everything inside it. Markus Anderson saw that change long before the palace did. He saw how Meghan led Harry through Toronto's hidden spots, where everyone knew the unspoken rules. Markus watched as she became not just Harry's girlfriend, but his protector, his secret keeper, and in time, his manager. Inside that balance between freedom and control, Meghan found her power. And Markus Anderson, who'd seen her plan 100 quiet nights in Toronto, recognized the pattern right away. This wasn't just love. It was a plan, a partnership built on secrecy. As Meghan's relationship with Harry grew, people around her started to disappear. Friends from her TV show stopped hearing from her. Old friends in Toronto no longer got invites. Even family members, the ones who knew her before she was famous, were quietly cut out. It was as if Meghan had taken scissors to her past, cutting away every name that didn't fit her new story. Markus Anderson noticed it. The sudden distance, the calls that weren't answered, the friends who whispered, she just vanished. He'd seen it happen before, but never this completely. Every sign of Meghan's old life, the parties, the people who'd seen her real self, was wiped clean. Her social media pages changed how they sounded. Her photos became softer. The captions became poetic, innocent, ready for a royal life. The woman who once hosted wild private parties at Soho House was gone. In her place stood a duchess-to-be. Markus knew it wasn't by chance, it was a method. Meghan didn't just change herself, she erased her past. She built a new version of herself every time she entered a new world, and she made sure no one could bring the old version back into the light. For Markus, that realization made him feel uneasy. He had been part of her change, the quiet person who saw it all and helped her rise. But as her group of friends got smaller, he began to understand what everyone eventually learned. When Meghan was done with a part of her life, she closed the book completely. Once inside the royal world, Meghan's control seemed perfect, until small cracks started to show. In one interview, she said she'd never looked up Harry on the internet before meeting him. In another, she described his favorite habits and charities with amazing detail. She said she felt stuck and alone in Britain, yet travel records showed her flying to New York, Amsterdam, and Italy within months. Each small lie was tiny, but together they painted a strange picture. The truth was being bent. Even the royal family quietly started to change what they said. Her official biography that once said she had 2 college degrees, helped people, and spoke many languages was rewritten. Line after line disappeared. What was left was simple: Meghan Markle, actress from the TV show Suits. Markus Anderson saw what this meant. The palace wasn't just fixing facts. They were taking away the fake story she'd built. The fake story that started in the private rooms of Soho House. The fake story that Markus himself had helped grow. For the first time, the fake identity Meghan had made so carefully was starting to break. Markus had always been known for being loyal. In his world, being quiet was valuable, and he guarded it well. But being quiet carries a heavy feeling, and over time, that feeling becomes too much to bear. He had watched Meghan go through every step of changing herself. From the actress who charmed Hollywood to the socialite who ran Toronto nights, to the duchess who stood on palace steps with the whole world looking at her. He had seen her plan, organize, erase, and rebuild. And now when he finally spoke, not with big scandals but with quiet truth, it had the power of someone who had truly been there. Markus didn't accuse, he just showed the truth. He spoke of the woman behind the speeches and the smiles, the woman who had made changing herself a way to survive, the woman who never stumbled by accident because every fall was already planned. he described how Meghan's rise wasn't luck or fairy tale magic. It was a careful plan, a blueprint built on secrecy, special access, and good timing. Every door she opened, Markus once hinted, was one she'd been studying long before she knocked. That's why his words matter, because Markus Anderson wasn't just a friend from Meghan's past. He was the builder who watched her create her future brick by brick, fake face by fake face, lie by lie, until the real woman disappeared completely. And that's what makes her story haunting. For every charity speech, there's a shadow just behind the lights. For every photograph, a hidden truth just outside the picture. Markus Anderson didn't destroy Meghan's legend. He simply reminded the world that behind every perfect picture is a person, and behind every person, a story no one was ever meant to tell.